your late night host, and we are back again. Yes, as always, on another fantastic sucker free NIGHT. Just happens to be Saturday night, going into Sunday morning. Well, it's Sunday morning right after midnight here, maybe 30, 40 minutes. Central Time. But it's been that way on the East Coast. But it is our hopes that you are having a sucker-free NIGHT. Remember, staying sucker-free can keep you from being in sad situations. Situations that you really don't want to be in. Yeah. And I know you all are up right now. It's Saturday night. You watching HBO, Netflix, got you a drink going. Whatever that refreshment may be. You may be even, smoking on some herb, just whatever you may be doing. It is our hopes that you are having a sucker-free NIGHT. Yes. We're doing it right here. Yeah. Trying to stay that way. But under the circumstances in which the country is in, sometimes it's hard to do. Sometimes it's hard to do. That's why you end up with people in situations that they normally would not end up in. Yeah. That they normally would not end up in. But luckily, you're not the one who's in that situation, and nor am I. And we're absolutely grateful to that, right? But before we get started, and the people that's not grateful, you had a British actor by the name of John Nolan. John Nolan, most commonly known for his role in Batman, Batman Returns, and Dark Knight Rises, has died at the age of 87. In that series, or in those parts of the series that I just mentioned, he was one of the board members. Douglas Frederick, died at 87. The cause of his death, unrevealed right now. And also, you may remember him from Personally Interested, something to that effect. But I do know that he was in Batman. Yeah, he was most definitely in Batman. And that is, personal interest. I was right. I was right about that. But he has run out of time. Just like you have this 88-year-old woman by the name of Danielist. Danielist Graves, 88. Butchered by her own son. Yeah, Kevin, Kevin or Kayvon. Yeah, her son butchered her. Yeah, here in Chicago on 107th South Lafayette. Jabbed her up. Chop, 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 chop. Like he was Jigsaw or something, Yeah. And hid her in the basement in a bookcase for 4 days. How many of you all hate your mother that bad? Did your mother treat you that bad? That, you butchered her up after the fact, that you took her car to a drug dealer and traded the car for drugs, or the car was being held hostage for the drugs? That's according to the report. What's going on, Michael? Shouts out to Michael in the building. Yeah. We just started working out right now. Hat or no hat, Michael? Yeah, this is another old trusty hats. What do you say, Michael? Hat or no hat? Yeah. Stabbed his mama over some drugs. So she's run out of time too. Just like someone else has run out of time. Well, he's doing time. Not run out of time, but doing time. And who would that be? That would be Michael Kovco. Yeah, Kov. Bye. Thanks for stopping by, Michael. We appreciate you. And on your way out the door, make sure that you smash the subscribe button. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you. So, yeah. Would you stab your mother over some drugs? Would you leave her body in the basement for 4 days in a bookshelf, in a garbage can, stuffed in a suitcase? I'm just saying, would you do something like that? Because this woman, Danius, that's her name, Danius Graves, not Danielius, Danius Graves. It was a weird first name. Hey, what it is, Mike? Shouts out to Mike in the building. Double L-Y-A or double I-Y. Aya? Hey, Aya. Kuryakin, we appreciate you in the building. Shouts out to you. And by the way, if this is your first time chiming into this channel on this platform, we want to thank you for being here, because you could have been something, you could have been doing something else with someone else, but you decided to stop by and see what we had to say. And we are very thankful that you are here. And if this is your first time, we ask that you smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. And also, smash those likes and shares. That's right, the condiments. Yeah, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation this Sunday morning. Yeah, this Sunday morning. And if you're feeling generous, which most of us aren't, but everybody's not broke, But if you are feeling generous, we have subscriptions to this channel as well. We have gold memberships and we have silver memberships. If you cannot do that, get a subscription membership, we ask that you smash the subscribe button. Absolutely free. Don't cost you one red penny, one silver quarter, one silver nickel or dime. Absolutely free. And seeing that we are in the economic cesspool that we are in, we like everything free, right? Hey, let me get some free food. Let me get some free gas. Let me get some free rent. Let me get a free subscribe in the building. That's right. Smash up the subscribe button, likes, and shares. We highly appreciate you. But getting back to this Michael Kovco guy who threatened Donald Trump and his son. Said that I'm going to effing kill all of you. your son, quote unquote. I say quote and unquote based upon the fact that he basically said he wants to kill Donald Trump and his son. Donald Trump has made American enemies. Yeah, people who once voted for him, people who once supported him, people who were once MAGA lovers, they want to be done with him too. The only people that don't want to be done with him are the billionaires and those who are in politics in the House and the Senate. Those are the people that don't want to be done with him. Facts. Actual facts. You got people that's in Oregon doing right now time. Another man threatened to kill Donald Trump. You had another man who tried to assassinate him in Florida. They caught him in the bushes. But then you had another dude that shut off part of his ear. Donald Trump has domestic enemies that are citizens of this country. We're going to get off to him in a minute. Yeah. Michael Kovco, 29 years old. Here on the north side of Chicago. 5300 North Cumberland Street. 5300 North Cumberland Street. He's got enemies everywhere, domestic and international, which we'll get to. And this guy's doing time right now. Donald Trump has family members, as I stated in another live some time ago. Family members killing family members. Yeah, this took place in Texas. 22-year-old girl dead, shot and killed by her dad over an argument that they were talking about Donald Trump and the Epstein files. Donald Trump has become a household name. But not only has he become a household name, he has become an infamous name to some household because people are willing to go to war with their family members over Donald Trump, and they haven't even had a breakfast croissant with the man, okay? No eggs, no orange juice. Yeah, it's crazy out here in these times. Time. If you are a timeshare holder, seeing that we're talking about time, many people don't know what a timeshare is. But you know, when you go on those trips to Vegas, you know, and you got the guy handing out tickets, oh, just come listen to us for a couple of hours. We'll show you some rooms. We'll give you a continental lunch. Just come listen to us. And they give you the ticket. You show up. It's free. But then at the end of the conversation, They want you to empty out your pockets, shell out of your bank account just as or above the amount as your normal rent or your normal mortgage rate is. They want you to shell that out for a timeshare and you're on vacation, which means you go all over the country, here, there. Some are international. And you get to stay there for free, but you got to pay the fee, which is another rental or mortgage or higher payment from your pocket. But the good news is many people are getting out of those timeshares with a refund. Yeah. And if you're one of those people who I'm talking to or know what I'm talking about, timeshares, yeah, go visit Stonegate Law Firm. Yeah, Dennis Donovan. Yeah, that's right, Dennis Donovan. Yeah, Stonegate Law Firm. Because they're getting money back and out of their timeshare. I'm just saying. Time. Just like you have Lakeisha Harris, a mother of two, here in Chicago, who worked at the post office for 10 years. In Cook County Jail right now, over the past year, doing time for an ambush that was set up by another woman dealing with ex-baby daddy and another lady. And according to the reports, they initially agreed here in Chicago to have partial custody, where to pick the child up at. But Lakeisha Harris got ambushed, and she is a perk card holder. You know, meaning that she has a right to possess a firearm legally. Some kind of way a firearm was in her purse. But while she got ambushed, one of the chicks shot herself with Lakeisha's gun. How does that work? Despite the fact that Lakeisha argued the point when the cops got there, how the opposition, meaning the ops, had a gun and a knife, but they did not search the ops, nor did they check them for gunshot residue. But now she's sitting in jail doing time, claiming her innocence. But the girl got ambushed. And you know how you Chicago women is. Yeah, from South Side. You all know how you are. So, yeah, Lakeisha needed a gun. Now, she claims her innocence. She said that she didn't shoot the ops, but the ops ended up with her gun and shot themselves. Crazily, but she's in jail. City of gangsters, I tell you. What do you do? People get shot dead all over the place. Just like, you know, you got that guy Medina. What's his name? What's his name? Carmelo Medina. That's his name. Carmelo Medina. The one dead? Yeah. Maybe it's two dead now. Because Carmelo Medina is dead too. Age 62 years old. Damn, where did he come from? So it should be 2 dead on the title of this video versus 1 dead and 5 shot. It should be 2 dead. Smash up the likes. Smash up the subscribes. Smash up the shares. We appreciate you. Who we got out there? You're so cool. Elia Karina said hi. Eden, what's going on? This usually happens when you become president. Maddie Nelson, biggest waste of money. Lost 12K behind the ripoff. Oh, we get into everything. Everybody in the chat room, I want to say thank you for being here. And I'm paying attention to you. I'm paying so much attention to you. Should it be a hat off or hat on? What do you think? Oh, it's an old school hat. How long have I had this hat? I don't know. Maybe 13 years. 14 years. I've had this hat 14 years. I think I keep it on. Hey, but I tell you all, it's crazy out here. 62 years old Carmelo Medina shot in the chest. Block, block. Electricity cut off. Why? Because he walked into somebody's home that was not his home. Why? Because he has dementia. See? I know some people personally in my family that has dementia, and they too has walked into someone else's home or into someone else's apartment. And luckily, they left alive. Now, Carmelo Medina didn't know what he was doing. He actually thought that he was at his place of residence. So if you have someone in your family that you know, friend, that has dementia, make sure that you try to keep an eye on them, especially when they start to disappearing. It could be a matter of life and death. That's 100. Keeping a buck. 13-year-old sitting in his apartment or home over there on 99th South Paxson on the east side here in Chicago. Shot inside his home from the outside of his home. What type of society? Sorry about the mishap. What type of society are we living in? Where we pay our mortgage, we pay our rent, and we still worry about criminals shooting inside our place of residence that we pay for legally, while they are shooting illegally in the neighborhood. It's gotten to a point that there's no way to curb crime here in Chicago. You're not going to do it. There's no way that you can curb crime here in Chicago, like on a zero basis. I mean, just think, I'm not, I would love to live in a utopia. That means everybody's peaceful. There's some things still going on, small demonic things, but ain't nobody killing each other. Ain't nobody raping each other. Yeah, sexually assaulting. Ain't nobody, you got people probably stealing, but no one is taking the life of another human being. That's my point. That's the type of society in which I want to live in. What about you? A society where people are not killing people. Like I said, we're going to have all of those other crazy things go on. Stealing, robbing, but no killing. Imagine what life would be like if you lived not only in a community like that, but in a world like that. In a world like that. I know it's not going to happen. But just think how much more peaceful you could be with life in your own community, in your own neighborhood, without the death and the violence that runs rapidly in the streets of Chicago. It even runs, yes, it even runs to the suburbs, Highland Park, Deerfield, Palestine, Palatine, not Palestine, but Palatine. Yeah. Whole lot of places. Will County. Where a lot of racist people live at. This world war thing that's going on right now, well, really hasn't kicked off yet, but be prepared for it to kick off. If there was a button that one could push to end racism and inequality in the country, we're not talking about elsewhere, we're talking about in the country. And if you had a vote to hit the button, would you hit the button? 1 for yes or 2 for no? I am 111111111 111111111 just to end injustice in the country, to end racism in the country, to end inequality in the country. If there was a button for you to push at a poll booth, would you push the button that said, yes, I want that, yes, I want that, yes? Or would you be one of those who pushed the button that said, no? It's 2026, suckers. It's 2026. But we can't stop the shootings because we already got 2 dead and we got 1 shot. Yeah, the 13-year-old. Over here on 66 in Walcott, we got a 16-year-old, we got a 28-year-old, and we got a 48-year-old. Shot. Not dead, but shot. Inglewood. And then you have a 37-year-old woman on the bus here on 39th and King Drive, Southside. Shot because someone opened gunfire at a bus, a public transportation bus. It's not sweet out here in the big windy city of gangsters, Chirac, concrete jungles. It's not sweet out here at all. Did you all know? For all of the people that's viewing right now, did you know that more young black men have died in the month of March and during the current month of April than there have been U.S. soldiers that have died in Iran 6 weeks ago. More young black men in the city of Chicago has died. And you think it's sweet out here. Oh no. If you get to be my age, you get to be what they call an OG. When I go outside, you know what they call me? Old school. Old school. What's up, old school? Or some would say respect. And they hold their palms up like that. Respect. Hopefully they get to reach the age that I am. You have to talk to these young men, these young women that's out here in the street that is committing all of these criminal acts against one another, which means that you have to put your life in jeopardy sometimes. This is what I do. Sometimes. I have a life too. What have you been doing lately? Yeah, I put my life on the line in the street. I put my life and credibility on the line here on YOUTUBE. I'm just saying. When you put your life on the line in general, in society, without a YouTube platform, you're already doing great. Just think of all of the people who did that before there was no social media. What are you doing? Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution to society's problem that we have in the nation or in your neighborhood or in your community? You know, you have to get your community first or your neighborhood first before you can get the city right. But you have to get yourself right first. And other people have to get themselves right first. When you walk outside and you live in the hood, do you like to see what you see? You have to change that. I don't live in the hood. I grew up in the hood. But back then, it wasn't called the hood. It was just where you stayed at. I don't think the hood thing came out until the late 90s or late 90s, early 90s, the hood. We didn't call it the hood. Just where you live at. Oh, you live on the bad side of town. We call it the bad side of town. Or you live in the bad area of town. We didn't call it the hood back then. But it's sad that when you have young black men that are losing their lives more in the neighborhoods here in Chicago, just in Chicago. We're not talking about LA. We're not talking about New York. We're not talking about Florida. You know, we're not talking about Texas, you know. And we're not talking about these high populated areas of black people. We're just talking about Chicago alone. And 6 weeks, more young black men have lost their lives in the streets and in the city of Chicago than there has been U.S. soldiers that has died in Iran over the past 6 weeks. That's insane. Time. That's what we got here. Now, here it is. Somebody else is trying to avoid time. Yeah, somebody else is trying to avoid time. I'm trying to get my thoughts together how to arrange them for you all. It seems to me that Donald Trump is not trying to do no time either for the war crimes that he has committed, saying that he has not done a day in jail for the 34 felonies that he has committed. So if he has 34 felonies and has not spent the day in jail and has committed war crimes and has not spent the day in jail, nor has been brought up on charges of war crimes which cannot be brought against him until articles of impeachment is completed, which John Larson of Connecticut, the representative, has 13 articles of impeachment against him, but it's impossible, according to Democrats themselves. According to the Democrat themselves, say that their doomsday will be at the polls because Republicans still have the House and they still have the Senate. And in order for him to be impeached, it has to be a 2/3 vote Senate. And he got the Senate. It's going to be a doomsday at the polls. Donald Trump knows this, and the Republican Party knows this. And as long as Donald Trump is in power, the Republicans can continue to suck from the economy of America without paying a price. Did you hear me? Without paying a price. Because Donald Trump is Gangster all the way. If you want to know what a true gangster looks like, here in Chicago, we thought it was Al Capone. You should look at Donald Trump. He's a real gangster. Donald Trump is a real gangster. Yeah. Donald Trump. Now, let me tell you another thing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't part of the military, right? He orders the military what to do. Let's go fight over here. I don't care how you feel about your mama or your daddy. You're going to fight over here. And you're going, when I say go, or we're sending you over here to Fort Leavenworth. Okay? That's what we're going to do for you. And I think many soldiers right now today feel that way. But they don't want to go to jail, prison. They don't want to do that. So they follow along with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, even in the past, has called them idiots. Yeah, the military men, service members. You all remember that? When he was coming off the helicopter, you know, that big chopper. You know what they call it, US-1 or something? You know, the plane and chopper, the same thing. US-1, whatever, okay? But did you know that Donald Trump does not give military discounts at his hotels? Huh? Donald Trump does not give military discounts at his hotels. Did y'all know that? Sad but true. You command the military. You can command the military, yet they can't get a discount for their family, even if they wanted to stay in one of your hotels. Why should I want to be bothered with you for you better paint Chicago red? Man, Chicago don't know which way to go. Me, I've already told them which way to go. I've already quit my job. I'm waiting for the rest of them to quit their job for a week. I've already quit my job. I quit my job when they came out with it's a requirement for you to have a jab. And that's okay. I'm fine. I'll be all right on my own merit, on my own brains, on my own talent. I'll be okay. And thus far, have been okay. So yes, I'm self-employed. Like many of you who did not fulfill your dream in being your own business owner or your own entrepreneur or your own boss, all the same thing. Many of you all shattered your own dreams. Now, I know that dreams get shattered, but sometimes we shatter our own dreams. But right now, Donald Trump is shattering a lot of people's dreams. Hell, you got 2 million Americans less. 2 million Americans less. Another tongue twister. That's on food stamps. Can't get it. Disqualified. Or whatever reason the state came up with, like the state of Arizona, which is a red state. Do you know how many people right now are suffering that is not receiving SNAP benefits? They the red state. I like Arizona. Spent a lot of time in Arizona. But I ain't moving there. I'll go stay there a couple of weeks. But I ain't moving. Arizona is off the chain. And the cost of living is off the chain. They even call Mesa, Arizona an island. Did you all know that? Put that in your Rolodex. Mesa is an island. Put that in your Rolodex. But getting back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a madman. You have some people say that Donald Trump is getting ready for war with China. I don't think so. My brother in Detroit says that Donald Trump is getting ready for China. China is laughing at the United States right now because they can't even handle Iran. The U.S. has become the laughingstock of the world at the helm of Donald Trump. Has anybody seen what the NASDAQ looked like lately? Huh? Yeah, go check the NASDAQ. Go turn on some MSNBC. Yeah. Go do that. And try to understand what's really going on and how this demonic entity, and I say that he is a demonic entity based upon what Alex Jones prayed for. You know the big YouTuber Alex Jones. Alex Jones prayed for the releasement or the unleashment of demonic influences that is in Donald Trump. Smash up the likes, you all. Smash up the likes. If this is your first time chiming in, we ask that you subscribe to the channel and share the information. Hit those condiments, which are the likes and the shares. Right now, it says that we have 47 over 4, which is, oh, we got 47 over 5. Can we get a 47 over 6, which would make it like a 7 and 5 over 6 in improper fraction? We appreciate that. Thanks for the 6, you all. We highly appreciate you. And thank you for being here, because you could have been doing something else with someone else, but you decided to stop by to see what we had to say. And we highly appreciate you. And we tip our, we tip our old trusty hat 13, 14 years in the making. To you, okay? We thank you. This Donald Trump guy did what? Where did it go? Let me get this here. This Donald Trump guy can't even handle Iran or Iran, whichever one you choose, to say. And China is laughing. To my brother that's out there in Detroit, right? According to this 10-point plan, Donald Trump does what? Owes Iran some money. And they don't want to do that. Donald Trump owes them reparations. Donald Trump can't be in charge of the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump can't stop them from seeking nuclear weapons defense with the uranium. He can't do that. And they agreed to that. But they violated that. And then you send J.D. Vance back into the meetings with the very same people with a strategic outcome with you, meaning the U.S. Donald Trump. And I say you, Donald Trump, because we, the U.S. citizens, don't have nothing to do with your control over the Strait of Hormuz, okay? Here it is. You crying over the Strait of Hormuz. But yet and still, you tell the American people that countries from all over the world are driving up to America for oil like they're driving up to a Chick-fil-A drive-through, like they're pulling up to a Popeyes drive-through, like they pulling up through a Red Robin's drive-through or parking lot. No, they're not. They're not doing that, Donald Trump. You say that their Air Force is gone, their naval stuff is gone, and all of this stuff is gone. How they're destroyed, and all of their power is. Come on, man. Not that you know what I'm talking about. They still got some lights over there. You haven't knocked out all the power, but yet and still, you say that all of these Americans or all of these countries, is coming around for all of this oil. However, if you paid attention to the oil barrel prices, you have to question yourself, because oil barrel prices went down from $120 a barrel to like $88 through $90 a barrel. Now, I wonder if that's because he sold off all of those $50 million, those 50 million barrels of oil that he gangstered over there from Venezuela. Now, the United States is not benefiting from that oil. If he is selling the oil, he's selling it to line his pockets, along with the billionaire homies or cronies that he has. None of that money will be seen in the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy is broke according to the U.S. Department of Treasury. And y'all still talking about hope. You all still talking about the future. There is no future. The future is now. You may not have a Social Security income tomorrow. You may not have a disability check coming in tomorrow. You may not have unemployment coming in tomorrow. You already see what the people here in America are going through on SNAP benefits under this administration. But you don't see the collapse. You don't see the fall of America. And while all of this is going on, Donald Trump is doing what? He's seeking another $174 million to build his East Wing. To build his East Wing when it's already been blocked by the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, they can block some money from him building a ballroom, but they can't block him from destroying America? What good is the U.S. Supreme Court? What good is Congress? I just looked up the U.S. Treasury comments and they say we are booming. Man, you know what? Hold on. Did you see what Corey McDuff's out here said? Corey, I have to take my hat off for this one because you asking for this. Corey, the U.S. Department of Treasury says that the United States is broke. I don't know where you're getting your information from. Because I can tell you where I'm getting my information from. Now, if you want to go through references, we can do that all day long. But I do know that the U.S. says that the U.S. only have a couple of, dollars on reserve. That's it. If we had all of this money, why are we $48 trillion in debt? $48 trillion in debt. Yeah, I'm asking for it, bro. Okay, Corey, I'll give you 5 of mine, and then I'll give you another 5 after you give me 3 of yours. Will that work for you? Let's go to New York Times for 1. Let's go to Wall Street Journal for 2. Let's go to Huffington Post for 3. Let's go to Washington Post for 4. And let's go to Boston Globe for 5. Now, I've gave you 5 primary resources. 5. Can you give me 3 of yours? I'm waiting here. We do this all the time. Smash up the likes in the building. Smash up the likes. I'm sorry, I left the conversation for a minute. No, I don't want it. No, we're not doing that, Corey. We're not doing that, Corey. And Corey, since you left the conversation after I gave you the answers, could you please smash up the like button? Can I get a 7 in the building? I don't have to give you the other 5 resources because you didn't give me 1 of yours. We read around here. We read, R-E-A-D. Read. Now, if you got some sources that outsource the first 5 that I gave you, let me know. We appreciate you in the building. And like I said, if this is your first time for chiming in or chiming into this channel, this platform, we ask that you do what? Smash the subscribe button. We welcome you. We thank you. And we don't care about your religion. We don't care about your race, your creed, or your color. We like all conversations in this chat room. But if you have to be disrespectful, go stand over there by Walgreens in broad daylight with the Batman belt on, Yeah, you just may run into John Nolan, who's dead. Donald Trump. What's that, Corey? I seriously did not hear what you say. Any 5 or anything, bro. I literally left the conversation and came back. Okay. But I give them to you again. Huffington Post, Boston Globe, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Okay. That's 4 of them. And what's the 5th one I said? I even go to the another 5th one. Chicago Sun-Times. Okay. Because I know one of them I just switched. But I just gave you I just gave you 6 of them. We read around here. Huffington Post, Washington Post, New York Times. Yeah, Boston Globe. Oh, yeah, we got you now, right? You caught up to speed? We're not including the other ones that I read. Yeah, and we're not talking about the news outlets either. Just reading. Aren't those as biased liberal? All of them not liberal. Like I said, I only gave you 6 of them now. But all of them are not liberal. Some of them are real articles for real people. Hell, we live in a biased society. This country is based on biasm, based on racism. So you have to pick the meat out from the bones. Whatever news source or article, wherever you get your information from. I like primary resources. Can't go wrong there. I love primary resources. Sites. I just gave you 6 of them, man, okay? I gave you newspapers, no sites. See the difference? I ain't going to lie, us the brothers, so I don't like looking at either other people platform. I ain't going to lie by us two brothers, so I don't. Okay, well, Well, I'm glad that you're here on this platform participating in this chat room. We highly appreciate you. Without your participation, a lot of the information that I just discussed would not have gotten out. So we thank you for that. And more information. Do y'all remember Major Retailer? Do y'all remember a major retailer who resigned from the political world, who was a MAGA fan, pro-Trump fan, but left because of the Epstein files? They're still involving Trump. Oh, let me go back. See how my brain is moving? Let me go back before we get to Major Retailer Green. Because we're still on Donald Trump, the Strait of Hormuz, right? China, the Strait of Hormuz. China vessels have been able to come through. India vessels have been able to come through. A Navy fleet attempted to come through, but got turned around. While they were making negotiations, while J.D. Vance was trying to make negotiations for like 21 hours, trying to renegotiate what was already agreed to, something that they already agreed to. And while they agreed to it, they tried to switch the narrative. And the Iranians most definitely do not trust Donald Trump, especially when he mocked them, when he says, praise be to Allah. When those Iranians say praise be to Allah, or they say alhamdulillah, or they say jihad, they mean just that. Seeing that this is a Christian country, you don't see them talking about it in the name of Jesus. You know why? He didn't exist anyway, but that's a whole nother different conversation. History-wise, literature, yeah, he on paper. Literally, he's on paper. Historically, the man didn't exist. And I ain't going to also be like what they address people, which is very important to the people that they are blessed. Shouts out to Corey in the building. Yeah. Donald Trump is a liar. Is a liar. And where we at here? I'm trying to find something for you all real fast. Remember I was talking about those 10 points? Remember that? J.D. Vance, who was in the first meeting or negotiations with Prime Minister Sharif from Pakistan, whom the U.S. chose so that we would not have a misunderstanding of language and rules to this negotiation. Donald Trump doesn't care right now if China is giving Iran weapons, anti-aircraft defense mechanisms, weapons. Trump says he don't care. He should care, especially if he's talking about military drafting. Right now, according to the reports or the statistics, you have 1.33 million U.S. military service members in the U.S. And China has 2,035,000 people in their military. On the battlefield, on land, with troops, it's over with. And in the air, it just may be over with China, seeing that Trump is on his knees with Iran. On his knees. And he can't go any further, because any further is just a total wipeout of their civilization over uranium and oil. And the Iranians have already said it. They're like, come get it. We're going to stand here and let you blow us up. We want the world to see this. Sucker. You see? Donald Trump is trying to pull a fast one on the Iranians. In fact, while he's trying to manipulate them by pulling a fast one, he's empowering them more. Yeah. And for all of you black people that's out there, like I said, a part of that 10-point plan that the U.S. agreed to, that they just broke with Israel, with the bombing of Lebanon over there. They broke the treaty, and they knew that was going to break the treaty, and they knew that this was going to send them back into another meeting where they can try to manipulate the Iranians. Nah. But now, just think if it increases more, the agreement from the Iranians. See, the U.S. agreed to the Irans, but now the U.S. want Iran to agree with them, and that they ain't doing. Because they know Donald Trump is a crook. They know that he is filled with demonic influences, like Alex Jones said. Praise be to Allah for the release or unleashment of demonic entities or influences in Donald Trump. Praise be to Allah. Smash up the likes. And if this is your first time chiming in, you all, we ask that you subscribe, like, and share, okay? Donald Trump. Donald Trump is in so much hot water. He's in so much hot water. No, they didn't do. They looking up the news and not third world propaganda. What are you talking about, Rabbi? Rabbi in the building. What are you talking about, Rabbi? Let me know. We got Butters in the building. Shouts out to Butters in the building. Ayatollah Al-Khamenei, the former supreme leaders in Iran, held deep respect for Malcolm X. Yes, they did. This is true, Butters, because they are against global oppression. Iran never won a war, but they always won negotiations. Did you all hear me? Iran never won a war, but they always won negotiations. Actual facts. It's on the books. And how many wars have Iran ever really started? You know, they have threatened the United States, and they have rights to threaten the United States. Look at how the United States police the world. I'm not mad at the Iranians for defending themselves. However, I am mad at the American government. Donald Trump, who's at the helm of this? Who is at the helm of this? The infamous dictator who is every day committing crimes, war crimes, international crimes. And I don't blame NATO for not getting involved. They're waiting for him to crash out. They're waiting for him to crash out. And they can say, our hands were clean. And while he's crashing out, the United States is up for grabs. You don't have, what do you have? 1.33 million U.S. soldiers totally. And you're going to defend yourself against NATO and Iran? Those NATO allies are playing it smart. And to my brother that's in Detroit, I don't, and I say this wholeheartedly, I don't root for the Iranian people, but I understand their cause. Despite the fact that they too, the Arabs, they Arabs, I remember the Arab slave trade. I remember from historical readings and investigations of how Iran became Iran and how it was once Persia and who stayed in Persia, who civilized Persia. I understand all of that. But we're talking about now. Okay? We're talking about now. A key historical moment for my brother in Detroit. I know and understand how Iran became Iran and who took it and why they took it. But at the helm of that, you know who was at the helm of that. And we became our own worst enemy. And we self-destructed. As it says in the Quran, because I like coming from the Quran, the Torah, Talmud, or a history book or a news report or a news article. Or I come from all of it. But as it says in the Quran, every nation has its turn. Yeah, every nation has their turn. The Roman Empire had their turn. Greece had their turn. Kemet had their turn. Ethiopia had their turn. And so on and so forth. And we had our turn in the beginning. And we've had the longest lasting civilization in the world. Not the US, I'm talking about black people, African people, has had the longest civilization in the world. And it fell. Just like America is falling right in front of your face. Despite the fact that you may say that Iran may be beat. But America is going down the drain, down the drain, down the drain. And the Democrats and the Republicans know it. And the Republicans are going to take this country all the way down to its ankles. And we want to thank Donald Trump for that. For all of you MAGA lovers out there. He's at a UFC fight in Florida. Donald Trump is at a UFC fight in Florida with Mark Rubio while all of this is going on in the world. You have your hands, you have your life in his hands, and he's at a UFC match. I think that's kind of weird. I think that's kind of bizarre. I think that's kind of crazy. I think that's like, I don't give up. You know what? To the American people. No, they did not do. Okay, they're trying to look this up. Robert, you still ain't told me what you're talking about. I'm waiting on you, man. Pieta's in the building. Message held for review. Shouts out to Butter. Shouts out to Brock's Plate. Message restricted. Lazy Acres, what's up in the building? Lazy Acres is in the building, you all. Hey, Lazy Acres, we want to welcome you back to the platform, and we ask that you do what? Smash up the likes. Welcome back. Shouts out to Lazy Acres in the building, you all. TDS, TDS, TDS. What's TDS? What's TDS, Robert? What's going on, Peters? 1977. What it is? We appreciate you. Okay. Nothing in regards to TDS, TDS. We're going to move on to Melania right now. Melania Trump. Because Trump's going to have more problems. She gave a press conference trying to exclude herself from the Epstein files in the middle of this crisis that the country is having. Why would she say that right now in the middle of this mess, this conflict, this illegal war? See, it's an illegal war, and she knows that it's an illegal war, and she has more inside source than we do in regards to why she's doing it. Because someone told her to cover your ASS, Someone told her to cover her ASS because her husband is going down in the end in those Epstein files. Donald Trump saw this coming all along. This is why he fired Pam Bondi. And Todd Blanche, who is the Deputy Acting Attorney General, or is the Attorney General. Did you all know Todd Blanche was a former defense attorney for Donald Trump? Did you know that? Smash up the lights. Yeah, he was a defense attorney for Donald Trump. And he says that no more Epstein files will be released at all. And no, Pam Bondi will not be brought before Congress even if a subpoena occurs or arises or shows up. Pam Bondi will not be in court to testify against those files that she scrubbed. Y'all see how that go? At one point, I thought Pam Bondi's life would be in jeopardy because of all that which she knew and all of that which she scrubbed for Donald Trump. But according to Todd Blanche, your new acting attorney general, deputy attorney general, former defense attorney of Donald Trump, says that she will not testify, period. And those files are closed. And you will not know anything else about what happened in the Epstein files. Damn. How much more injustice is the American citizens are supposed to suffer here? Now that lady, Melania Trump, cannot say she got nothing to do with those Epstein files. She got nothing to do with Ghislaine Maxwell. She's lying. That's what she met Donald Trump at. That's what she met Donald Trump at. Epstein Island. The Russian supermodel. Ooh. Yeah. Facts. Facts. Don't argue with me. Argue with the facts. It's not like I'm just pulling this information out my backside, okay? Facts. I'm just saying. She's trying to remove herself. Yeah. Now, in the process of her trying to remove herself, with this press conference that she had, she said that she wanted the victims of the Epstein files, the victims, to have a public hearing with Congress, went over her husband's head. That's because things are about to get DEEP. Yeah. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is about to hit the fan. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is about to hit the fan. Somewhere around the corner. And she knows that. And she don't want her name nowhere in it. But it's too late. That's where he purchased you from, Melania. I mean, according to the reports, I'm just not saying this, you know. I mean, all of the news outlets not lying on you, Melania. I know that Donald Trump says that the leaks are real, but the news are fake. You know, it's fake news. But we got the leaks from the news, Donald Trump and Melania. Don't just... They killing me out here, you all. Hey, smash up the likes. If this is your first time chiming in, smash up the likes. And subscribe, like, and share. You know, we highly appreciate you. And I don't even know where my hat went. We tip our hat to you for being here. Yeah, Melania. Donald Trump calls her a star. But others in the Republican Party, that MAGA party, sees her as an enemy. And they see exactly what she's doing because they know what she knows, that he is guilty. Yeah, let me get some water. He's guilty. Melania is there just for a paycheck. You know, it's a money exchange. I got a kid by you, that Barron kid, who is on the draft list as of December, which we'll get to in a minute. That Barron kid. But Melania is trying to keep her head from off the chopping block. And while at the same time, Major Retailer Green, who's that MAGA lover, she praised Melania for wanting to bring the victims of the Epstein files before Congress, before the public. So that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And like I said, don't expect Pam Bondi to be there because the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, said that Pam Bondi will not be in court even if she is subpoenaed. Isn't that against the law? Can he go to jail for that? Do you see all of the criminal activity that is taking place on the congressional floor? Whew. And they can't do nothing about it because all of these crooks are in office. All of these criminals are in office. And like I said, as long as Donald Trump is in office, the Republican Party is going to continue to suck from his tit. From all of the evil things that he do, they are going to benefit from it along with his billionaire friends while the rest of the country suffers. The great melting pot of America. That's what it is, you all. The military draft. Barron Trump, as of December of this year, will be on an automatic registration military draft list. Do you think he'll make it? Do you think he would be drafted? Do you think Donald Trump will allow his son to be drafted? Hey, Novin, shouts out to Novin. Reagan screwed the Ayatollah regime over from the get up. What's going on, Lazy Acres? Are you God? What do you think? As in the words of Jesus, who do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Do you say I'm Hosanna, the son of David? The son of Joseph? The son of Mary, who took her illegitimate baby to Egypt, aka Kemet, literally, in literature, not literally, but in literature. Historically, it didn't happen, but in literature, it did, you know. But anyway, who do you say I am? It's not who I say I am, because Jesus never said who he was. I'm just saying. So this Barron Trump guy, right? Now his dad, the draft dodger, who said that he had bone spurs back in the day. Will there be a reason medically that Barron Trump cannot go into the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force? Because trust me, he's not going into no military force, operation, organization where his life is going to be taken or controlled by a dictator like his dad, Donald Trump. I'm just saying. No, Barron Trump don't have to worry about it. He's not going nowhere. But all of you politicians out there, you Democrats and you Republicans, many of them working on their grandchildren right now. They don't have to worry about it, but their sons and their daughters do. So they may end up seeing their grandchildren go. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe Donald Trump will be at a UFC fight then in Florida. I'm just saying. Hey, you all. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Yeah, we've had a ball. And I want to say thank you for being here and getting some information that you can arm yourself with this Sunday morning to have a great conversation with anyone that you come into contact with. That's right. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. And if you are historically inclined and you like more meat on your head, we have audiobook series that's over on my other channel, MOPOWERZ, and you can get some more history information on your head and armed with critical information that you can knock falsehood brains out with truth historically. Go over to that channel, MOPOWERZ, where you can find audiobook series like Black Man of the Nile and His Family, Stolen Legacy, From Babylon to Timbuktu, As a Man Thinketh, The Demonology of King James. Yeah, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Message to the Black Man in America, The Fall of America, The Miseducation of the Negro, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca. Yeah, if you're into that, we got that too. Get yourself over there. If you're into traveling, like to the Georgia Guidestones before they got blew up, if you're into the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, if you're into the Black Holocaust Museum, that's in Milwaukee, if you are into the ley lines, that's in Langley, Washington, where you got to take the ferry to get there. If you want to go to the Mopop Museum, if you want to go to Yorktown, Maine, all the way down to Miami, North Carolina, Hilton Head. I'm sorry, South Carolina. We'll take you there to Hilton Head in South Carolina. Take you to Savannah, Georgia, Atlanta, Texas, Dallas Cowboys, Arlington, that is. Get yourself over there, MOPOWERZ, and enjoy yourself. And come travel with us. And if you are into Chicago, old school, anything, hip-hop, R&B, spoken word, comedy, Chicago, street clips, independent movies, get yourself over to my last channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. And find Chicago greats like Twister, Triple Darkness, Psychodrama, Drama War, yeah, Common, Bernie Mac, Dion Cole, Diane Carter, Reggie Reg, Quintella, Snoop, not Snoop Dogg, but Snoop, Mecca, Big Taz, High Pilot, Nomads, Affiliated Fellas, Official Business. Get yourself over there. That's right. And Killer Bloodline and Project Pat. THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. And on your way out the door, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. And also press those condiments to like and to share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. And for the video uploads on this channel, make sure that you go watch the last 10 video uploads on this channel. The last 10. We highly appreciate you. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Never ever give up on your DREAMS. That's my time. We'll see you tomorrow.